Hello, I'm Aisha. Today, we're diving deep into a subject that's both heartbreaking and urgent. A crisis that has cast a long shadow over Nigeria for far too long. The relentless terror of terrorism and banditry. This isn't just a news headline for millions of my fellow Nigerians. It's a daily, lived reality, a nightmare that has stolen countless lives, shattered communities, and threatened the very future of our nation. It's a complex issue with deep roots and devastating consequences. But to find a way forward, we must first understand how we got here. So, let's start at the beginning. A little over a decade ago, it all escalated in 2009. That was the year the group known as Boko Haram began its violent campaign, primarily in the northern regions of Nigeria. The name itself, Boko Haram, is a chilling declaration of their ideology, often translated as, "Western education is forbidden." This wasn't just a political or territorial conflict. It was an assault on a way of life, on knowledge, on progress. They attacked schools, markets, places of worship, the very heart of community life. Since that year, the toll has been staggering. Official figures, which many believe are conservative, state that more than 11,000 people have been killed directly by this violence. But the impact ripples far, far beyond that. The fear, the trauma, and the constant threat have forced over 2 million people to flee their homes, to abandon everything they've ever known, becoming refugees in their own country. Think about that number for a moment. 2 million lives uprooted, scattered, and forever changed. The situation has not only persisted, but has, in many ways, become even more complex. The lines have blurred between ideological terrorists and profit-driven criminal gangs, often referred to as bandits. The violence has become more widespread, a brutal enterprise of kidnapping for ransom, extortion, and indiscriminate killing. The numbers from recent years paint a grim picture of this escalation. Let's look at the statistics for just the first half of 2025. In those 6 months alone, terrorists and bandits were responsible for the deaths of at least 2,266 people. That's an average of more than 12 people killed every single day. The epicenter of this violence remains concentrated in the northeast and northwest. States like Borno, Yobe, Adamawa, Zamfara, Kaduna, and Katsina are on the front lines. For the people living in these areas, every day is a gamble. Every trip to the market, every journey to a neighboring village is fraught with danger. They are living under a constant siege of fear. One of the most tragic and unforgivable aspects of this crisis is the targeting of our children. Schools, which should be sanctuaries of learning and hope, have become battlegrounds. They have been transformed into targets for mass abductions, a cruel tactic used for ransom, for propaganda, and to instill widespread terror. We all remember the global cry that went up in 2014 when the Chibok girls were kidnapped. It was a moment that shocked the world. But the heartbreaking reality is that many of those girls are still missing today. Their families left in a state of perpetual limbo and grief. And the horror didn't end there. This has become a recurring nightmare. Just last month, bandits brazenly abducted hundreds more children from their schools in both Kaduna and Niger states. Can you imagine the terror of those children and the anguish of their parents, waiting, praying for their safe return? This is not a distant problem. This is happening now, to the most vulnerable among us. The ripple effects of this sustained violence are devastating and far-reaching, touching every facet of society. The human cost is almost immeasurable. We have over 2.9 million people who are internally displaced. These are not just statistics. They are families torn apart, parents separated from children, entire villages emptied out. They are people who have lost their homes, their livelihoods, and their sense of security. The economic impact is just as crippling. Vast areas of fertile farmland have been abandoned because it's too dangerous to plant or harvest crops. This has led to severe food shortages, driving up prices and pushing millions into hunger. And then there is the educational crisis. With schools under constant threat, Hundreds of thousands of children are out of school, their futures stolen before they even had a chance to begin. An entire generation is at risk of being lost to fear and ignorance, creating a vicious cycle that could fuel instability for decades to come. But even in the face of such overwhelming darkness, it is crucial to remember that there is hope. The Nigerian spirit is resilient, and it has not been broken. There are glimmers of light that we must hold on to and build upon. On the security front, we are seeing some progress. In a significant development, more than 100,000 fighters and their family members have surrendered to the authorities. This is a complex process, of course. Reintegrating these individuals back into society is a monumental challenge, requiring careful de-radicalization programs, psychological support, and pathways to new livelihoods. It's a long and difficult road, but it's a vital step toward breaking the cycle of violence. And let's not forget the incredible courage of our communities. Every single day, local vigilante groups, community leaders, the Nigerian military, and international partners are on the ground, working together, fighting back, protecting their people, and trying to reclaim their land. Their bravery is a testament to the unyielding desire for peace. Nigeria will rise above this. We must, but it requires a collective effort, a unified and sustained push on multiple fronts. It's not just about a military victory, it's about winning the peace. We need to tackle the root causes that make young people vulnerable to extremist ideologies and criminal gangs. This means a massive investment in education, creating schools that are safe and accessible to every child. It means creating jobs and economic opportunities, giving people a stake in a peaceful and prosperous future. It means strengthening our security forces, providing them with the resources and training they need to protect citizens effectively and humanely. And critically, it means delivering justice for the victims. We must hold perpetrators accountable for their heinous crimes and provide support and reparations for the millions whose lives have been shattered. We cannot build a lasting peace on a foundation of impunity. This is where you come in. Whether you are in Nigeria or watching from halfway across the world, you have a role to play. Stay informed. Don't let these stories fade into the background noise. Stand with Nigeria. Support the credible relief organizations that are on the ground providing food, shelter, and trauma counseling to displaced families. Use your platform, your voice, to raise awareness for peace and to call for action from leaders and the international community. Every conversation, every share, every donation makes a difference. It sends a message of solidarity to the victims that they are not forgotten. It puts pressure on those in power to do more, to do better. Let's make sure the world does not look away. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch and to understand this critical issue. The path to peace is long, but it is a journey we must walk together. Please like this video, share it with your network, and subscribe for more content that matters. Let's keep this conversation going in the comments below. Together, we can be a voice for the voiceless and help end the terror. Thank you.